Today we went to the Norbalinka Palace, which was the summer palace and built in 1755 for the 7th Dalai Lama. Starting with the 7th Dalai Lama, they started using it as a summer palace and going there during the summer months and using the patala only during the winter months. And I was just so confused about why they would move their entire government about 2 miles down the street for winter and summer, but apparently the patala doesn't have good ventilation and gets a little bit too warm. So Norbalinka was really spread out. There were lots of trees. It kind of felt like a really serene college campus while we were there.
First we went to the room of the 7th Dalai Lama, and it was kind of interesting. It almost looked to me like the whole place was in the process of fading away. The colors were really muted and kind of faded, and the whole place just looked like it was almost disappearing before your eyes. It was kind of interesting. After the 7th Dalai Lama's palace, we went to the 13th and 14th Dalai Lama's palace, and that one particularly looked like it had just been abandoned, which actually I guess it had been when the Dalai Lama left. That was actually the palace that he escaped from dressed as a Tibetan guard. Both palaces were set in a really nice area. There was a whole large grounds that you could wander around for a while. There was a man-made lake, and there was a lot of woods. This afternoon we went into Barkor Square to do a little bit of shopping, and I am definitely green. I've lost, I think, most of my bargaining powers and haven't had enough time to get back into the swing of things. The first woman that I stopped at her stall, she was very aggressive and kept trying to sell me something that I just could never afford. I mean, it was just way too much, and I don't have the budget for it. I eventually ended up buying a human skull with inlaid silver. The skull, as weird as it may sound to us, from the reading that I've done in Tibetan culture, when somebody dies, their soul leaves and the body is just a vessel, and it's not a big deal. So to have somebody's skull, for example, when your best friend dies, you usually take their part of their skull, and it's a memory thing, something to remember them by. And they'll make bowls out of them and everyday household objects out of bone and skulls of people so that they can remember them by. And they don't get as freaked out by having body parts around as we in the West do.
Today we went to the market in the Barkor Square, and it was my first time shopping here in Lhasa, and it wasn't as scary or overwhelming as I thought it might be. I bargained down to about, I guess, a third of what they had asked for my little tchotchke, which has a monkey on it, and I really like monkeys, and so I was happy to get that.
We did find a Tibetan woman who was selling, had a little stall there, and we got a chance to talk to her through an interpreter, and that was actually really nice. She's been there for about 5 years selling the stuff. She works every single day, apparently doesn't take any vacations. She buys her goods mostly from Tibet. She had a lot of interesting, wide variety of things, and I think packing that stuff up every night and unpacking it every morning, that's got to be a huge chore in and of itself.